Now let us see how we will download GSTR-2A from department's website while using our Web GST software, and how we will do the matching. Most of the matching will be automatic, but what else, what the steps have to be taken, let us see that. So first of all, we'll log into the Web GST software, and then we'll go to computation, and we'll be fetching the data which has already been punched, or it has been imported from the software, Tally or Busy or ERP softwares, etc. And then on the right hand side you can see the button Get GSTR-2A from GSTN. If you are clicking on this button for this SSE for this month for the first time, then it will download the data from GST website. And if you are doing it again, then it will merely show the data which has already been imported. So I've already imported the data, so it will just show it made that data. And then there are two options, get invoices and get debit credit notes. One by one we can use each of these options, and then we can get the invoices, and later on we can get the debit credit notes. So in the first instance, let us try and get the invoices. I'll say okay. So it is now showing me the data which was already downloaded from the GSTN portal. If I want, I can re-import the data. If there's some time has already lapsed, and probably some more parties would have uploaded the data or filed the returns, then I can re-import the data of GSTR-2A from this button. And to let me know on which date and time this GSTR-2A was downloaded, we have here the date and time when this data was downloaded from the GST website. So if later on somebody else is viewing this data, or even I don't remember, so I can see it from here. Then when you do it for the first time during a day, then you will be asked to give the OTP. OTP will come, one-time password will come on the mobile number which is registered on the GST website, and this OTP will be valid only for 10 minutes. So please ensure it is properly punched in within this time. And once this is OTP is mentioned on the and you get the data, then for 24 hours this OTP is valid. Then subsequently, if you again download the data or do some other actions, then it will not ask you for the OTP. Then you can see the data is divided into two parts. On the left hand side we are seeing the data as per accounts, and on the right hand side we are having the GSTN data. If you go to the GST website and there you see the data of GSTR-2A, it will show the invoices from various parties, and they will not be in any particular order. Sometimes invoice of party A may be coming, sometimes invoice of party B may be coming, then again A, and then again it is not in any chronological order, etc. So that's how it will appear there, and obviously the accounts data will not be there. Similarly, when we go to accounts, only the accounts data will be there, the GSTN data will not be there. But here we have got the data from GSTN, compared it with your data of accounts, and shown them side by side so that comparison is easy. So this will help you definitely. And here, as I told you, we are having the data of the parties party wise. First of all, this party is coming, then Bharti Airtel is coming, then Corporation Bank is coming, all the invoices. So it is alphabetically party wise, and within party it is date wise also. So this way it is very convenient for you, comfortable for you. If you want to match the data, if there are some issues, then it is very easy for you to look to the parties and the various bills. And what information is coming here? If you see one party, the GSTN number is coming, the name of the party is coming, and the state in which this party is registered, that is coming. And then the total value is also coming of the bills on the left hand side and on the right hand side also. Why on both left hand side and right hand side? It is because the two can be different, for the simple reason, because here you are seeing in this in the case of Bharti Airtel there are 4 bills, and here there are only 3 bills, and even these bills could be different. So on the first in the first instance you can see from the party details whether the amounts are matching or not, and if they are not matching, then we have to go to the further details. So that's why they are being shown on different side. Then on if you want to see, like let's take the case of Corporation Bank, we want to see, I'm not aware which invoice is this, for which charges the bank has raised this invoice. So I can right click it, I can view invoice, and the various details, the tax rate wise data of this invoice will be visible. Whose data is this? This is the data of the party, the supplier, the corporation bank who is the supplier in this case. When he has uploaded his GSTR-1, that data has been converted to GSTR-2A, which I've downloaded from the site, and it is the bank's data. It is not my account's data. And so I can check if there is any confusion. So which items are there, I can see the rate wise, I can compare, and I can know which invoice is there. If it's not there in my account's data, then definitely I can punch that also. So again, an important facility is being provided here. Then also, if some invoice is not there and I have to add the invoice, what do I have to do? Then I'll have to click on the party's name or this row, and I will right click it and add new invoice. And this is how I can add a new invoice. I need not go to the computation and from there punch the data. From here itself in the 2A comparison sheet, I can add the new invoice. So that facility is there. And when we compare the records, the blue color, when we click on a record, the blue color comes. This signifies that I am on this record, because if there are huge records and I am working, I might not remember on which record I was working. If I resume the work after some time, then this blue color shows that this is the record that you were working on. Now let us see something else. Now we are trying to match these invoices, and in this case in Panache Softtech Private Limited, we can see that there is one invoice which is there on the right hand side, left hand side, and there are two invoices which are there on the right hand side. And one invoice seems missing in the accounts package, but one invoice amount is matching, the tax amount is matching, but they are still not matching. Why? Let us see. And see if the invoice number is long, because 16 characters are allowed. If the invoice number is long, then you can take the cursor there and the invoice number would appear here like this. So this is invoice number 2 in this case, and here it is invoice number 28. I think the invoice number has been wrongly punched, but they are the same invoices because the amount and tax is matching. And if that be the case, I'll select it on one side, and on the other side I'll come and I'll double click it. On double clicking it, it will map these two invoices, even though the invoice number is wrong. Probably I have in my accounts punched it wrong, so I'll correct it there. But for the time being, I can map this, and automatically, as you can see, the status accept will come. And if by mistake later on my accountant tells me, no sir, these two are different invoices, so what do? I'll again right click this and unmap this invoice this way. So this is how we can map or unmap the various invoices, and if need be, then we can later on unmap them also. Then if we want to see more, then here what information is there of the invoices: invoice number, date, value, and the IGST, CGST, SGST amount, and the cess of both the accounts portion also and of the GST portion also. And ideally they should tally, and if they tally, then obviously it will be matched data, and if they do not tally, one of these parameters does not tally, then that will be a mismatch case, or we'll see the different cases which will appear. So then you can see two more fields are there: status and action. Status, what is the status presently? Not filed. Again, very important. When you go to the website and there see your 2A, there if the party sub invoices, you will see submission status of the party not filed. If that to be the case, then you will have to punch those invoices of that party if it has not filed the return. If it has filed the return, then in that case you can accept those invoices, you can take those invoices. But if the party has not filed the returns, then you will have to punch those invoices there. But here, while using the software, you do not have to do that. You can only do the relevant actions like add missing invoices, etc. So the status shows whether it is matched, unmatched, whether rounding off difference is there, but still it is matched. And then the final field, which is of action, that shows which action is to be taken in the case of this party, let's say. So add missing invoices or whatever action is there, that we can take, add missing invoice. Or and if you see here, when we filter the data, color wise I'll show you how the data has been filtered. There only the relevant actions will be there. It's not that you can take the actions from here, though you can take the actions even from here. This is the complete data. If we click this, we have the complete data, already the complete data we are there. And here even we can take the actions from here also. So in this case, in the first case, we can see, is the data matching? There seems to be some difference, 308.21, but here I've probably in GSTN the party has rounded off the data, but I've put in the decimals also in my case in the accounts department. So there is a slight mismatch, but by virtue of auto intelligence, it is showing that that is okay, and you can accept that data. So I'll take this action. I have the option of accepting this or modifying this. I will accept, that's okay. Then coming to the next party, here let us see what options are there. Since the right hand side the party invoice is not there, on the left hand side it is there, I can take this action, add a missing invoice. I can do that. And if already invoice is there, what option do I have? Add missing invoice. Why this is coming even though the right hand side the invoice is there? Because the party has not filed the return as of now. Since the party has not filed the return, then that is why it is showing as option as add missing invoices. And in other cases, like these cases, unmatched data, because on the left hand side the data is not coming in the accounts, but on the right hand side the data is coming. So what do I have to do? I have various options. I can accept the data, I can reject the data. Why? Because probably this invoice does not belong to me. That could be the reason, or because of some reason I'm not sure whether this is to be accepted or not, or whether it belongs to me or not. In that case, I can keep it pending. So, but if the data is huge, it will be very problematic for me to go to each and every party and accepting the data. I think this will be a lot of work, because as you can see, even in this case, the number of invoices is huge. So what to do? To solve this problem, we have this facility that, and one thing more, this action, when can we take the action? We can take the action only when the date of filing GSTR-1 is over. In normal circumstances, GSTR-1 is to be filed by 10th of the next month. So after 10th of the next month, or whenever the date is extended, after the extended due date, only then you can take these actions. Because till that such time the data is only provisional and it's not final. That is why action will not be taken. It will have to be taken only after the due date of filing of GSTR-1. So till now I think you have understood the things. Now coming to filtering of data. Now what is that? As I told you, the number of invoices is huge and it will be problematic for me. It will be very time consuming for me to do this work. So let us now use the facility of data filtering. As you filter data in Excel, here also we have given you that facility of filtering the data. And these records, these green records, huge number of records, are automatically matched by the software. What needs to be done here? Nothing more needs to be done. By default, these are accepted. I don't have to accept them. By default they are accepted, and I don't have to do anything more in this case. So this is okay. Now let us see more kind of records. Let us go to mismatched data. Now here the records are not matching. There could be several reasons for that. Now if we look to this data, there seems to be some rounding of difference in this data, though both are in decimals, but the data is not matching. And here in settings, we have given this settings master, where we are giving this option of you want matching to be exact, to be the nearest rupee, to be the nearest 10 rupees, nearest 100 rupees, etc. So whatever we are accepting here, the option, the matching will be according to that. So since in this case rounding off is exact, that is why in this case, even if there is a difference of 1 paisa, it will show that it is not matching, and that is why it is showing as a mismatch. I can either make the correction. If the mistake is on my side, I can make the correction, or I can simply accept this or modify this. I have both the options, and as I said, in the filtered data only the relevant options will be appearing. So since the data is already there, a missing invoice option is not there. Option is only to accept the data or to modify the data. So let me accept this data. So that was about a mismatched data. Now coming to a new type of filtered data. This is data is existing in accounts, but it has not come from GSTN. Why? Because probably the party has not filed the return. The party might have filed the return, but this invoice it has missed out. Probably it has put it in this invoice also, but the GSTN number it has put for some other party. Because of all these reasons, the data has not come from GSTN. So what do I have to do? And remember, once the party has filed its GSTR1, it cannot make changes in that. In the subsequent months, changes can be done, but we have another option. You can accept this data. Yes, you can accept the data. You can add the missing invoice, and then subsequently, when the party gets this, the supplier gets this data in his GSTR1A, then he can accept it, and finally his GSTR1 will be updated on that basis. So I can add the missing invoice, and again I'm now in this case of this party, all these three I want to accept. So what can I do? I can right click it here, and then I'll get the option. I can to accept all these invoices, add missing invoices from this particular party. So let me accept that. So for this party, all the invoices are I've added all the missing invoices. And if I want to do this for all the parties appearing in this sheet, then what do I have to do? Is there any option like that? Let me see. I have this on right click. The second option is add missing invoice for all invoices or for all parties. Let me do that. So for all the parties appearing in the sheet, by one click of a button, I have accepted the status as add missing invoices. So see how simple it is. So once we are through with this, let us see the other status. Now let us go to the next type of filtered data, which is exists in GSTN but does not exist in accounts. Now, how can that happen? Why? Your accounts department cannot make mistakes, or there could be other reasons also. Like one problem could be the bill has not been passed. It may be in stores, it may be with your director or promoters, etc. They have not passed the bill. Because of all those reasons, this thing could happen. Or in the case of a bank, probably you've just booked the amount in bank charges. In the case of, let's say, ICICI Bank, you've booked the amount in the bank charges. You have not taken credit for GST. So that could be the case. And in this case, the government has also clarified that a consolidated invoice issued at the month end will suffice in the case of banks, insurance companies, etc. So, and in some cases, as you can see, the party you are getting those options. Generally, the name of the parties will appear with the GSTN, as I told you. In some case, the name of the party may not be appearing because you have not made the entry of this party in your accounts. That is why. In that case, what do we have to do? Let us see if there any option is there. So you can get the get party name from GSTN. Let us see. It is trying to get the party name from GSTN. If the internet is working, yes, the party name has been updated. Obviously, for these kind of facilities, the internet should be working. So I've got the party name updated from the GSTN website. If by default in the beginning it was not appearing. So this option is there. And now let us see what options are coming in this filtered data. It is, let us see, accept. I can accept the data. So fine, this is okay. I should accept it. Then the other option is coming, reject. Then another option is coming, keep pending. Why keep pending? Because probably the invoice has also been received and it is there for passing in the stores. But in some cases the material may not have been received. That is why I do not want to accept it. I want to keep it pending. So that is why I've kept it in keep pending. And here also I have this option of what options are there? I can also view the invoice on right click. Then also I can do the accept status from invoices from this particular party. I can reject all the invoices from this party, or I can set the pending status for all invoices from this party. So let me do it, accept from all invoices from this party. So that is, the status has been updated. Now let me see for some other party. So the number of invoices is huge in this case. So let's say I want to keep it pending. So for all these invoices of this particular party, it is status is changed to keep pending. Now for this party, if I want to change to, what do I want to change to? Let us see, reject status. I want to reject for whatever reason all these invoices. So the status will be updated here. So this is how we can make the changes and we can update the status. Then finally we have this one more green color. This is a different green color, and which kind of invoices are there? Let us see. Here basically the status you can see rounding off or auto intelligence. So in these cases, let us see one by one. Here you can see in the accounts the amount has been entered with decimals, whereas the party has punched in the data in round figures, rounded off to the nearest rupee. So that is why this difference was coming, but it seems that everything else, the invoice number, date, etc., amount, etc., is same. So it seems to be the same invoice. So by default it is giving this option of round off, status of round off, and automatically the action is coming as accept. So I can even modify it. I can, since it's accept, it is okay, I can go with that. Then in other cases we can say also see, then sometimes the date may be different. These are all rounding off differences. See, let us see some other auto intelligence. Here again, let us see the invoice number is here. See, the invoice number is different, GST/0019, whereas here the invoice number is 0019. But other things, date, amount, GST amount, etc., they are matching. So by virtue of auto intelligence, it has understood that this seems to be the same invoice. So by default it is showing in this auto intelligence filtered data, and here you have the option of accepting or modifying it. So this is how we can make use of this facility also. So in maximum cases you can see the data is automatically matched. Only in a few cases where the data is mismatched, where there some manual intervention is required. Otherwise most of the work is done automatically. So once this is through, then we have this option of export to Excel. Why this option of export to Excel? Because most of us want data in Excel, reports in Excel, because we may be chartered accountants doing work of many of our clients, and we may be wanting to send this data to our clients so that they can take the relevant action. We may not be taking those actions. And see here the data, this data that you were seeing in the software, that is available. Similar data is available in the Excel template, which you can send to your clients, or if you are working for him, then you can also make changes here, or this may be convenient for sending to the clients generally. So this option also is there. Then once you are through with most of your work, then you can also save the data. Re-input, I've already told you, when need be, you can re-input the 2A data, because the other parties may also have filed the returns, then you can re-input the data later on. So once we are through with our work, we have completed the necessary actions. So in that case, I can save the data. So the data has been saved successfully, and the options are there. And once I have saved the data, then only view completed transactions will appear. Before that, view completed transactions will not appear. So let me see. I've clicked on view completed transactions, and now it is showing me all these invoices. I've rejected some invoices, I've added some invoices, I've accepted some invoices. So all these are appearing by default here. So in these cases, I do not have to do anything else. In other invoices which are still appearing in, let's say, in mismatched data or in some other data, I will have to do the work. So once I close it, and also sometimes I might have committed a mistake in particular, let's say in this case, add missing invoice. I did not have to add the missing invoice, or the accountant has added the missing invoice by mistake. So in that case, I can click on the right hand side on this rollback action, and then I can click on rollback action, and then these invoices will go back to the relevant places, and the action can be taken again on these things. So again, this is a very good facility. And here also, let me see once again, view completed transactions, and option is also available here to check or uncheck all. Let's say somebody has done by, let's say he's just trying to understand how the software functions, and he has by mistake accepted or rejected many invoices. In that case, you can check or uncheck all. If I unchecked, it is there, and I can roll back. So all these invoices will be rolled back. So this is how it will happen. And so we can roll this back, and all these will be rolled back. This will again be blank, and again the data will come there. And then also another option is there, not filed by counterparty. Invoices not or invoices not uploaded by the, or in fact the GSTR1 has not been filed by the supplier. In that case, on this click I will get information about these parties. And this is a dynamic thing. As per suggestions received from you, and as per various things that come to our mind, we are regularly increasing the various facilities so that it is very convenient for you to use. I'm sure you will find it very useful. Thank you very much.